Hello and welcome to the Online College of Coding video tutorial series. This is the fourth video of making Lunar Shift in GameMaker. In this video, we are creating enemies with some AI. Before watching this video, it's recommended you've seen the previous videos in the series. Let's get started. To create the enemies in the Lunar Shift game, we should start by creating a sprite. Click the Create a Sprite button on the toolbar and name it SPR_enemy. Click the Load Sprite button, then select and open the enemy sprite. Use the Center button to center the sprite, then close it. On the toolbar, click the button to create a new object and give it the name OBJ_enemy. Assign it the enemy sprite, and use the Add Event button to add a new Create event. From the main To tab of the Actions list, drag a Set Alarm action into the event. Set the number of steps to 1 and set the alarm number to 0. Alarm 0 is going to control the AI of the enemies. Use the Add Event button to add an Alarm 0 event, and from the Control tab of the Actions list, drag in an Execute Code action. In the text editor, type the following 2 lines of code. The first line of code is resetting the alarm to 90 ticks or 3 seconds. The second line of code is telling the enemy to move towards a random position. For more information on how the random position is being calculated exactly, take a look at the document and its in-depth explanation. Close the text editor and close the enemy object. We're about to place a few enemies in the room so we can preview their AI. Open the room by double-clicking it and go to the Objects tab. Choose the enemy object from the drop-down list and place a few in the room. Now test the game and check them out. Don't forget, once you've finished testing the game, to go back and delete those enemies from the room. The object that will be spawning the enemies is the controller, so we need to create another alarm event. So open the controller object and use the Add Event button to create a new Alarm 2 event. From the Control tab of the Actions list, drag an Execute Code action into the event, and into the text editor, type the following 2 lines of code. The first line is resetting the alarm to a random time, and the second line is creating an enemy object at a random position off the top of the screen. Close the code editor and select the Create event. Open its Execute Code action and add the following line of code underneath the already existing line of code. This is where we're initializing the AI timer. Now close the code editor and press the play button to test the game. The Alarm 2 event is set to 200 at the start of the game, which counts down after almost 7 seconds, then spawns an enemy. The alarm is then reset to a random time, and the enemy is told a random position to move to. To finish the AI, we need to add the ability for the enemies to drop bombs, but for that we need a bomb object and a bomb sprite. Use the button on the toolbar to create a new sprite and name it SPR_bomb. Click the Load Sprite button, then select and open the bomb PNG file. Use the Center button to center the sprite, but then change the Y value of the origin to 23. Close the bomb sprite and use the toolbar button to create a new object. Name it OBJ_bomb and assign it the bomb sprite. Set the object's depth to 5 and use the Add Event button to add a Create event. From the Move tab of the Actions list, drag in a Set Gravity block. Set the gravity's direction to 270, which is down, and the gravity value to 0.4. Also from the Move section of the Actions, drag in a Speed Horizontal action. In the Speed Horizontal window, set the speed to 4. That's our bomb object all set up. Now we just have to program the enemies to spawn it. So open the enemy object and use the Add Event button to add an Alarm 1 event. From the Main 1 tab, drag in an Instance Create action. In the Create Instance window, select the bomb object from the list. Leave the X and Y positions at 0, but tick the relative button, and then close the action. From the Main 2 tab of the actions, drag in a Set Alarm action. In the Set Alarm window, for the number of steps, type 120. Change the alarm being set to Alarm 1. Then, after closing the alarm action, right-click it and choose Copy. Go to the Create event of the enemy, and then right-click to paste the alarm action in the Create event. Now just test the game and see if you can survive long enough to see the bombs drop. In the Create event, we are setting the Alarm 1 to 120. When that alarm goes off, it's reset to 120 and a bomb object is spawned at the same position as the enemy so that it can drop down. For the next step, we're going to need an explosion. Click the toolbar button and create a new sprite. Give it the name SPR_explosion. Click the Load button and select all 7 of the explosion images by holding Shift or Control to click each one. These together form an animation. Center the sprite with the Center button, then close it. Create a new object with the toolbar button and name it OBJ_explosion. Set its depth to -5 and assign it the explosion sprite. Use the Add Event button to add a new animation end event, which is from the Other section. Then from the Main 1 section of the actions, drag in a Destroy Instance action and just click OK to close it. Open the bomb object and add a new step event with the Add Event button. From the Control section of the actions, drag in a test variable action. In the test variable window, the variable we're testing is going to be the Y position of the bomb, so just type a lowercase y. For the value, type 690 and set the operation to greater than from the list. Also from the Control section of the actions, drag a start block and an end block underneath the test variable. From the Main 1 section, drag a Create Instance action in between the start and end blocks. Choose the explosion object as the instance to be created and leave the X and Y positions at 0, then tick the relative button and close the action. Also from the Main 1 section, drag a Destroy Instance action in and just simply click OK. Make sure, however, that it is below the Create Instance. Now test the game and check out the bombs and explosions in action. So the explosion is made up of 7 different images. By setting its depth to -5, we've made sure that it will always draw in front of everything, so we can't have the explosion behind the crater. The test variable block in the bomb is checking the bomb's Y position to see if it's fallen all the way to the ground, which is 690 pixels. If it has, then we destroy the bomb, but only after creating an explosion. Because of the explosion's animation end event, it destroys itself when it's finished animating so that it doesn't repeat. Now that we've got one bomb in the game, we're going to add a second bomb. Right-click the bomb sprite in the resource tree and choose Duplicate. Name the duplicate SPR_craterbomb and click the Edit Sprite button. In the new window, go to the Images menu on the toolbar, then from that menu choose the Colorize option. In the Colorize window, drag the hue slider to set the value to approximately 150. Click OK on the Colorize window, and then the Sprite Editor window, and then close the sprite. Use the button on the toolbar to create a new object and give it the name OBJ_craterbomb. Assign it the craterbomb sprite, then set its parent to be the bomb object. Use the Add Event button to add a Destroy event, then from the Main 1 tab of the actions, drag in a Create Instance action. In the Create Instance window, set the object to be the crater. Set the X position to be the X position of the bomb by typing a lowercase x, and set the Y position to be 688, which is the height that the crater needs to appear at. Close the object and open the enemy. Select its Alarm 1 event, and from the Control tab of the Actions list, drag in a Test Chance and place it between the Alarm action and the Create action. In the Test Chance window, set the sides variable to 15. From the main one section of the actions, drag in a create instance action. In the create instance window, set the object to be the crater bomb. Then leave the X and Y positions at 0, tick the relative box and press OK. Using the start and end blocks from the control section, we're going to set up an if-else statement. Copy what I'm doing on screen. The if-else statement that we're creating is basically going to say, if we roll a 1, spawn a crater bomb, else just spawn a normal bomb. Then lastly, test the game. This time when testing, see if you can stay alive long enough not only to see the bombs drop, but to see a crater bomb drop. The reason we only had to add one event to the crater bomb object is because we set it up with the other bomb as its parent. Because of the relationship between them, the crater bomb has inherited all of the functionality of the bomb, meaning it will automatically fall, blow up, and create an explosion, with no extra programming. In a situation like this, all you need to add to the child object is the difference in functionality, which in our case is the ability to spawn a crater. The crater bombs are rare in the game because of the way we've told the enemies to spawn them. The test chance action simulates rolling a die. By setting the sides variable to 15, we're simulating a die with 15 sides. You've done well in making it to the end of this video. It's a bit of a long one, but we now have some enemies with some super cool AI. Tune into the next video, part 5, which is going to be a lot more straightforward. See you then.